I was pissed for a long time at my mom.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 30. I am your host, Alanized, and this is Noche de Pendejadas. Para todas las pendejas allá en casita que se están preguntando qué chingados es esto, escuchen pendejas. Noche de Pendejadas is a weekly episodic show where I go ahead and bring your favorite influencer to chismear, have some cocktail, and see what the fuck they've been up to. So si tú quieres ver a tu influencer favorito, hazme un favor and stop what you're doing and drop their usernames down below. Porque uno nunca sabe, a lo mejor para la semana que viene te lo traigo. La semana pasada, you guys, les trajimos una invitada súper chingona y esta semana no les tenemos una excepción. Please help me welcome my guest tonight, Candylover89. Hello, hello.
Hi.
You guys, esta es la segunda vez que tenemos a Candy aquí sentada. But the first time was a little different. I feel like a lot of people don't know that you've been on the show because they're always preguntan, bring Candy. I'm like, ya se las traje. Today is the 30th episode of this season, but it's the 48th episode of Noche de Pendejadas entirely. So I was like, you know what? I need to bring the first person that was ever on my podcast. I need to bring the first ever person that kind of believed in the vision that Noche de Pendejadas is today to talk. And I'm so excited to have you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited to be here too. It's so different from the first time. Like, it's crazy. I remember the first time we were like just going with the flow.
The first time we were filming on iPhones, you guys. And it was like iPhones like this. And the first time Candy wasn't even wearing makeup. And she was wearing my merch. Like, it's crazy to see how much the show has grown since. And I'm very grateful that you were like the first episode because throughout the years, you guys, since I met you, I feel like we've created such a beautiful friendship. So I'm so excited, you guys, because today, en vez del drama, a lo mejor sí hay drama hoy, pero hoy quiero conocer más a Candy y quiero que ustedes la conozcan un poquito más. So antes de que empecemos, para la gente que no te conoce, tell them who you are and what you do.
Okay, so I'm Angelica Torres. That's my real name, but I'm known as Candylover89. I do makeup, I do music, I have my own business, I do a little bit of everything, and I'm usually very bilingual, so les voy a meter un poquitito de español por ahí de vez en cuando, y pues sí.
Yo siempre he dicho que la Candy le hace a todo, le entra a todo. Like, I always say that you're such a hardworking woman, que a veces I'm like, girl, you need to slow down, because yo no sé cómo no se vuelve loca, o a lo mejor sí se vuelve loca. She's like, I'm actually going crazy right now.
Like, my eyes twitching.
She's like, I'm about to relapse. No, but it's crazy because if you guys were to really know everything Candy does in a day, I'm like, I don't know how you do it. And that's why you're so successful, because tú no tienes para. You don't let anything stop you. You know, para los que no saben, también Candy and me are nominated for an award. Which one are you nominated for?
Makeup Influencer of the Year.
Which rightfully you'll take again second year in a row. Si quieren ir a votar, you guys, for us, I am nominated for Lifestyle Influencer of the Year. And, you know, we have Candy nominated for Makeup Artist of the Year. So para empezar con el chisme, you guys, I want to know a little bit more about you. I want to know about your story, how you started. How was Candy Lover as a child? Or should I say Angelica as a child?
I lived in Puerto Rico till I was 11. I want to say we grew up okay. I never want to say like we started, you know, poor or anything like that, because I know how hard my mom worked. So I feel like for us, it was just, we were just going through it. I mean, I know what it is to shower with bowls. I know what it is to warm up water on the stove so I could shower with hot water. Like, I've been through everything, and I feel like when you start like that, you appreciate everything that comes to you more. So I think that's one of the reasons why I'm here and why I work so hard. I never have like, ¿cómo se dice? Like, I'm never just like, okay, this is good, I'm gonna stay right here.
No te conformas. No te conformas.
No me conformo. I'm always trying to find a way to grow. I'm always trying to find a way to help my family. And yeah, when I was little, like I went through a lot. I remember, and I always say this story, and Mom, if you're seeing this, I'm so sorry. Like, I never want her to feel bad about it, but it's something that taught me a lot. But I remember there was a Christmas where she was working 3 jobs. Mm-hmm. And she didn't have anything for me for Christmas, and I was like, it's fine, like it's okay. She went to the dollar store, and it was a coloring book, and Puerto Rico dollar stores are like $1 to like $5, and she gets me this Powerpuff Girls coloring book. And when she gives it to me, she starts crying. And I was like, it's okay. Like, I loved it. I loved it. I've always been creative. So like I would do puzzles and I would do like Barbies and all that stuff. So like even the coloring book, I was happy with. I was super excited. It was like one of the big chunky ones. Yeah. And I was so excited. And she was so sad. And it broke my heart. It's funny because we were both having completely different emotions with the same situation. I was excited because I've always been appreciative, and she was so sad. And
have you ever talked to her about that moment? Yeah. And what did she? Has she ever told you what's gone in her head?
Literally
what was going through
everything.
Her head?
She was struggling.
Yeah.
She was working hard. It was like to the point where I barely saw her. Her and my grandma were pretty much like raising me full time. Yeah. And my grandma was helping her with everything. So that's why I'm very close with my family. I'm an only child from my mom's side. My dad has other kids. From my mom's side, I was the only child. So growing up, I was very close to them. I was very shy. Siempre he sido tímida. Aunque sea en persona, even in person, I am very shy. Like I remember, like when you first probably met me, I was probably like, hi. And I'm like, what?
You grew up in Puerto Rico hasta los 11 años. How was it like, you guys picking up all your stuff and moving countries?
So that was really hard because like I was saying, I was really shy growing up, like very timid. I didn't have that many friends because I was the big girl. Yeah. In my school, there wasn't that many like bigger girls, and I was one of them. And I had a big gap on in my teeth. You could fit 2 straws, like literally 2 straws. Like, and it's funny because my stepdad would make me do it. Like I put this and I'd be like,
she's like, let's try for 3 today.
Like people would make fun of me for it. I remember 4th grade, people would call me the blue whale. And there was like stairs in the school, habían escalera. And I'd be coming down the stairs and be like, kids can be cruel. Yeah. And they were like, oh, viene la ballena azul, ahí viene la ballena azul. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm like, okay.
Here I come. Yeah. You're like, I guess.
But it also made me stronger. Yeah. And I never say like bullying is the right thing. I think bullying sucks. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it helped me grow thick skin. I got used to it. You can call me whatever you want. At the end of the day, it's still me. I can't change it today. Yeah. So I'm just going to keep going with whatever I got. And then we moved to California. And that was hard because I didn't know any English. Yeah. I didn't know any English at all. And California, I want to say it's more Mexican Spanish. Yeah. So when I moved here, a lot of people didn't understand certain words that I would say. And I'm like, I'm speaking Spanish. And I just wanted to stay at home. I was pissed for a long time at my mom because I didn't understand. Yeah. I didn't understand that the move was actually good for me. But I was finally like making friends. It was 6th grade when we moved. And I was like, oh, like I'm leaving everything. I'm leaving my dad. I'm leaving my family behind. We're moving to this brand new place, brand new culture. The schools were different. Everything was different. And I'll forever be grateful for my mom moving me here because it changed my life and it changed all of our lives.
Yeah, no, I feel like te trajo a un lugar donde hay más oportunidades. And look at you. You've made sure that every opportunity que se te ha brindado, la has agarrado. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's a big part of your success because I feel like you see something and you make something even greater out of that thing you see. Is the piece of plastic in your wallet doing enough for you? Because with the secure Chime Credit Builder Visa credit card, you can start building credit with everyday purchases and on-time payments. You see, with credit builders, members can increase their credit history with no annual fees or interest. Having good credit score can mean getting better car loan rates or renting apartments easier, or just bragging rights at the dinner table. I love the secure Chime Credit Builder Visa credit card because as an adult, I've learned that your credit score is the most important thing that will carry with you your whole life. I love the secure Chime Credit Builder Visa credit card because I've been able to put my friends to start building their credit. So continue your credit journey with Chime. Signing up only takes 2 minutes and doesn't affect your credit score at all. You heard that right. It doesn't affect your credit score at all. Get started with chime.com/ALANN. That's chime.com/ALANN. The Chime Credit Builder Visa credit card is issued by Stride Bank N.A. pursuant to a license from Visa USA Chime checking account and a $200 qualifying direct deposit required to apply for the secure Chime Credit Builder Visa credit card. Regular on-time payment history can have a positive impact on your credit score. Impact to score may vary, and some user scores may not improve. Y ahora eres Candylover89. Hubo un tiempo donde nomás eras Angélica. How did your name come about, and how did you being on social media come about? I know the story. I know the story.
I know.
Pero quiero que ustedes la sepan, you guys.
So I'm toxic. Yo soy tóxica full. Like I'm crazy. Uh-huh. Darren, who's my boyfriend, we were still together 12 years later. So that gives you guys a hint that it did what was supposed to happen didn't happen.
I'm like, it worked what I did.
It worked. I made a fake profile named Candylover89 because I don't like candy that much. Pues me duelen los dientes. So I don't even like
he's
candy
not
that
gonna
much.
expect it's me.
And then I said 89 because I was born in 94. I'm like, oh, I'm going to seem older. Like more mature.
Uh-huh.
And I started writing him to see if he would like cheat on me. Obviously he didn't, but I just left it because I was like, nothing's gonna come from it. I didn't even have an Instagram. So I just left it with the name. And then I started making the phone cases. I started, my business, and I left the name. I never thought I was gonna grow or anything.
Okay, before we get to that, I want to ask a question because obviously you've been using the same account. How does he find out that that account that now is a business was once the person that was trying to catfish him?
He knew it was me.
Oh, he from the start?
I don't know. I think because...
Or did you tell him?
I kept talking crap about me.
Oh,
I was like, your girlfriend's so ugly. You could do so much better.
He's like, I don't even post my girl. Like, how do you know I have a girl?
100%.
So now phone cases.
So I started doing phone cases at 16.
Oh, shit.
So how that started was I went to the mall with my mom and I wanted a phone case. I love bedazzled stuff, like everything with bling. Me encanta el brillo, cristales, todo eso. And I wanted this phone case and it was $200.
Damn.
Yeah. I was like, what the heck? Why? So I was like, oh, it's okay. It's fine. I'll make it myself. Uh-huh. So my mom bought me this like phone case making kit and I did my first one and I was like, I'm a genius. I can make a business out of this. Like, I'm so good.
Yeah, no.
I have to hype myself up because if
you
I don't,
make a whole business
I bring myself down.
Yeah.
So I was like, I can do it. So I told my mom, I was like, Mom, I need you to be my investor. I was like, I need $100. I felt like I was in Shark Tank.
Like you're like, look, Mom, listen to my proposal. In la cocina, we got like sandwich and I'm like, Mommy, yo necesito $100. $100. I'm going to multiply. I'm going to start a business. And she was like, okay. Because she knows, like, I'd never asked for money unless I really needed it or, like, if I was really passionate about something. So she was like, okay. So she gives me the $100. With that, I bought, like, supplies. I was like, okay, I'm going to get, like, the cheapest supplies I can find so I can make the most out of it. And I made my first phone case. I posted it. Somebody was like, oh, I'll buy it. And I was like, heck yeah. And then I made a new one, and then I made another one, and then I started making some like without being orders just to have, so I could be like creative with it. And it just started blowing up, and people are like, "Oh my God, these are so cute!" And I'm like, I love them. Yeah. I love them. And it started just growing and growing. And then I remember I started reaching out to influencers, makeup influencers mainly. Patrick Starr was one of my first ones. Manny MUA. I asked them if I could send them a phone case, so I started sending them phone cases. They started posting me as Candylover89. So everybody started knowing me as Candy, and I'm like, I can never change this name. You're like, that's not even my real name.
It's not. Isn't that a trip? Everyone thinks I'm born in 89.
Everybody's like, Candy. You know what's so funny, you guys? I remember seeing, which is so crazy to me because I remember you would even send phone cases to Jenny69. Mm-hmm. I remember Jenny, Patrick, Manny, people posting this. Y yo me acuerdo que yo los miraba, you know what I mean? But it's so crazy to think that you went from, doing phone cases to now being fucking makeup artist of the fucking year. That's a fucking trip to me, girl. Like, how was that? ¿Cómo te fuiste de tu negocio of making cases to like, you know what? Yo quiero ser el influencer. Yo quiero ser el que va a promover mis cases. How did that happen?
Because honestly, it's all about making my mom proud. Everything kind of always goes back to mom. Once I started making those phone cases and sending them and everything, I started selling them at the swap meet in Riverside. This lady was like, here, your table is so small. Just share a space with me. My table was like 4 feet. Like, it was tiny. And people couldn't even see me. So I had this little like... it was like a kid's toy. And it would go...
To get attention.
Yeah, and I'd be like...
And they're like, ¿de dónde salió
Here's
esto?
my phone case. From there, I was like, okay, I'm thinking bigger. Always think bigger. Because my mom was there with me at the swap meet too on the weekends, even though she was working 5 days a week in Santa Ana from Riverside, which
How
is
old
really
were you
far.
at this time?
I was 17 now.
Oh, shit.
I was 17. And then I was like, I want to get a job. Mm-hmm. I feel like I've always wanted to be independent. Mm-hmm. I've never wanted to depend on anybody. I want to make my own money, just do my own thing and not have to worry about anything else. So I said, Mom, I want to open a store.
Oh my God. Your mom's like, yeah, mija, todo okay. Which is crazy because...
But she made me get a job first.
But no, that's also crazy because going back to the initial time where you asked for money for the cases, uno de chiquito pide dinero para ir a salir, para ir al cine, para comprar sus hachiros, but you were asking her que te prestara dinero para abrir un business. That's crazy.
She was like, get a job first. I got a job at a smoothie place and I got fired in 2 weeks. I was like, this isn't for me, Mom.
You're like, I'm not the employee. I am the employer.
Well, because I've always had like that like mind where I want to make it better.
Yeah.
So I would give them like all this advice and they wouldn't take it. I was just like.
And they're like, girl, the business is established. Just serve the damn smoothies.
Well, I'm just saying they're under new ownership now for a reason.
They should have listened to Candy Lover.
I'm really good with marketing. I am. I love that. I love that stuff. It's so interesting and fun. I started working at a clothing store, a boutique, and it wasn't doing too good for her. She was going through some stuff. Eventually, I was working there for free.
Oh, shit.
Mm-hmm. I was learning. And,
It was like an internship.
Yeah, and I was trying to help as much as I could. There's only so much I could do for her. But eventually she closed down the shop, and at that time I was 18. And I talked to the landlords. The landlords already knew that I was there almost every day. Yeah. I was pretty much like keeping the place like running. So I was like, is there any way that you can sign over the lease to me? And they knew like I've always been responsible. That's just how I am. And they said, yeah. And I was like, Mom.
You're like, what the fuck do I do now with this whole ass boutique?
I'm like, Mom, it's official. And my mom was just like, okay, let's do it. Like, she never doubted it. She never doubted it. And I was like, okay, like, I'm going to do this.
So when you had your boutique, were you already influencing or no? Nada que ver?
No. I was still making phone cases for influencers.
So you opened your boutique. How did that go? Because you don't have it anymore.
It was going really good, but it's exhausting having a place where you have to be there open to close. I mean, you can hire employees, but for someone that's starting, it's hard to trust. Yeah, it's a cost, and it's hard to trust somebody with like your entire
business.
Yeah. So I was there 7 days a week from open to close. You know, no sick days, no vacations. If I genuinely needed a day, Mom.
Yeah.
Which I never wanted to ask her because I was like, this is mine. This is my responsibility, not hers. So my stepdad and my mom, they would help me get inventory. They would help me like put it on hangers every Saturday. And it just got really draining. Mm-hmm. And eventually it got to the point where I was opening late. I didn't mean to, but it's just like, I was like, happened. I have no life. Yeah. And then from there, some stuff happened for like safety.
Yeah.
To where I told my mom after the 3 years, I was like, I don't think I can do this anymore. So we had a lady come in once with a knife.
Oh, shit.
She was running away from the cops, decided to hide at my shop. She had a big old knife. The cops come in. They're pointing the taser at me because she was hiding in my fitting room. And I'm like...
You're like,
I'm like, this is terrifying right now.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And then there was another instance because me, if I have to work, I'll stay there all night. Mm-hmm. There was me and Darren pulled a few all-nighters at the store too, and there was another time where next door someone was breaking in. Oh. So they brought these sledgehammers because they knew where like the stuff was and everything. Yeah. And we just hear all the banging, and me, I'm nosy, so I'm like, what's going on? I see the sledgehammer. I'm like.
You're like, you're next. You're like, call the police or you're next, homegirl. That's scary.
And I still had my pink car. So I'm like, it's not obvious at all. Like in the parking lot, the only car out there.
The only bright pink car.
It was literally Thanksgiving night because Black Friday was the next day. That's what we were getting ready for.
You guys were setting up.
And I'm like, yeah, this is dangerous. This is scary. And it's not worth it. I don't want to lose my life over being at a shop, over clothing. Because I had clothing, I had accessories, wigs. And then from there, I told my mom, you know what? I think I'm done.
Oh, shit.
I think I'm going to close the shop. It was traumatizing. Yeah. It was scary. So I
with
closed
no
the shop.
plans.
No plans.
No plans. Because you weren't even doing Candylover89 lives on Facebook.
I was just doing the phone cases online and maybe like trying to sell some of the clothing online. So I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I know that right now I don't feel safe.
Yeah.
Honestly, I fell in like a really hard depression because I was still living at home. At this time, I was either 21 or 22. And I was still living at home. The only job I had was just selling the phone cases online. My mom gave me one of the rooms in the house to kind of make into like my little workstation. And that was doing pretty good. And then I started going live because I was at home all day now. Mm-hmm. So first I had all this interaction every day at the shop with so many people to being at home completely by myself. And at that time, my boyfriend was a truck driver, so I could only see him 4 days a month.
Oh, so you're like, bitch, what the fuck do I do with my life?
I'm what is happening right now? And I got really depressed and I started just going live on Facebook. And I would literally just go live and it would just be like 2 people watching. I think it was just Darren and my mom watching.
Darren on the trucks.
It was a FaceTime. It was literally like a FaceTime.
A FaceTime with them. And you're like, please use my code. And you're like, honey, it's just your mom. You didn't even have one at the time?
No, I didn't have anything.
Oh my God.
me just going live.
So you kept going live.
Yeah, I was like, it doesn't hurt anything. I'm already here. I'm trying to make some friends and talk to like anybody.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, it started just blowing up. I remember the first time we had like 50 people. I was like, Mom.
You're like, Mom.
We made it.
That's crazy.
And then 100 and then 1,000 and then.
To now like getting like 30, 50,000 people live.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. You know what's something that the way I found Candy Lover, you guys, was through Facebook. I used to not be into like Facebook, and I didn't know there was a world beyond like Instagram, Musically at the time, because I don't even think it was TikTok.
It was Musically. Mm-hmm.
It was Musically until one day my sister was like, I was trying to get into Facebook Lives because I was seeing people, you know, I had seen people like Let's Do Makeup and other people like blowing up. And I was like, maybe I should try Facebook. And I was like, let me see who does Facebook. And I remember my sister was like, oh, I follow this girl. She's so funny. She's so sweet. Candylover89. And then we met at Annette's launch party. That is crazy. But
and at that day, I didn't know he knew who I was. I was fangirling and he was like, you came up to me. I was like,
yes. And I was like, Candylover89. And then she's like, ah! It really was like that. But you know what is crazy? It's crazy to see because at the time, I thought you were at your prime. But it's crazy to see what TikTok did that I'm like, wait, she was just starting. Because her prime is even greater. You know what I mean? Like, how did that go? Because I remember I've had convos with you where you've been like, fuck, like, I don't know what to do with social media anymore. You know, shit's been going up and down. And then TikTok happens to you.
So here's the thing with social media. A lot of people think, oh my God, it's so easy. They're posting videos, they're taking pictures, they're living the life.
Yeah.
It's not like that. There's so much that goes on behind the scenes, and it's a lot of mental stuff as well. Like, we get judged for everything we do, whether it's good, whether it's bad. People are constantly just attacking. And it's tough. Can you guys imagine, like, just being on your phone and just people criticizing every single thing about you, including all of those insecurities? Because we all have them.
Yes, sir.
And just, it hurts. And it's not just that. Like, for example, I go live maybe 1 hour to 2 hours a day. There's 24 hours in a day. And people think that
that's your life.
That's my life. No, I wake up, I have to deal with customer service because in my business, I'm still running my business. I'm still a part of my business. I know there's a lot of influencers that once they create their business and they focus more on videos, they kind of assign more people to certain roles, to where me, I'm still not ready for that. So I'll still sit there and ship. I do my customer service. I do my inventory picking. I'm the one that talks to my suppliers. Like, I'm still running my business completely. And a lot of people don't see that.
Before we get into the TikTok, how did you go from, you know, influencing to creating this empire of selling wigs? Because I feel like para los que no saben o para los que sí saben, Candy sells wigs de todas, you guys. I literally have like 5 in my fucking beauty room of her wigs. How did you get that idea of selling wigs?
So I had gotten extensions, like, you know, like the tape ones? And I don't know what happened, but I was allergic to something, and a lot of my hair back here had fallen out.
Oh, shit.
So I started wearing wigs, and I was like, why didn't I find this before? Like, the looks were changing. You know, I've always had a big forehead, so I was like, I'm able to cut like 2 inches. You're like, 100%. Look, woo, it keeps going. People are like, where do you get your wigs? And I'm like, maybe I should look into it and start selling wigs. And I started like finding different suppliers, different colors, different everything. And I started doing wig shows on Facebook. The wig shows on Facebook, if you've never seen one of my wig shows, is where I try on every single wig that I have in stock. And I show it and how to wear it and everything. So now I probably try on like 400 wigs in 2 hours. Yeah. You
guys, when I watch her wig shows, my neck starts hurting. So I can only imagine how her neck is. Because she'd be like, boom, boom. And I'm like, does your neck hurt?
Yes, and my back. It's mainly my back.
But she literally like will go the whole hour and not complain.
No, never. I don't complain. I always say there's always going to be people that work harder than me, but I'm still going to work my hardest.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to complain. It's, you know, it's helping me be where I'm at. It's paying our bills, and people are happy with the product. That's what matters to me.
Now I want to talk about TikTok, because I feel like before you blew up on TikTok, I remember having intimate convos, which I feel like now as part of your success, I feel like those little convos and how you felt at the time make your success even bigger. I remember at the time I remember when we'd speak, you'd be like, oh my God, like my engagement, like I don't know what's going on, like something is going on, that you were panicking about your longevity on social media. I feel like for a moment you were even doubting.
Honestly, I doubt that every day.
And it's crazy because Candy Lover's so big. So how did you go from that to like blowing up on TikTok?
Honestly, I don't even know. I feel like I just found somewhere in the algorithm and I like slipped through and
it blew up.
It blew up. People like the bilingual. I feel like there's not that many influencers that translate on the spot, and that's something that I'm really good at. You know, I'm always very encouraging. I'm always very like kind, and I try to make the TikToks kind of fun, bring that energy, and just have fun in that minute.
I remember a convo because we'd go out, right? And Candy is big, girl. She had before TikTok, I think you had probably like what 4 million, 3 million on Facebook. When we'd go out, her audience was mainly like East Coast, and a lot of them like Latino America, not a lot like here, right? So I remember when we would go out, she would be like, oh, like no one knows me. But I feel like through TikTok, you became really known in the States.
Yeah.
Because now I feel like you've established yourself like, no, my audience is not just Latino America, it's everywhere.
No,
How do you feel?
I get people coming up to me and they're like, Bukiti, and I'm like, oh.
That's iconic, you guys. I love saying Bukiti. I think I've said it like in many vlogs. It's just so fucking catchy. It's so, how did you even come up with that?
I don't know.
It was just one video.
It just came out. Yeah, I think I was just like, Bukiti, and it.
You were trying to make like a magic sound.
Yeah.
And now it's a brand. I'm like merch
BBD,
coming soon.
boop type of thing. Like,
and it's stuck. And people love it. I remember you telling me that even when you wouldn't say it, people would get mad.
Yeah. Same with if I don't finish it with Toma pa que goces.
Toma
pa que goces, mami. They're like,
redo the video. They're like,
blocked.
They're like, report. The last thing I want to talk about is music. For those of you guys that don't know, you have a really successful, like, I say it's pretty successful because although you don't necessarily always promote music, when you've launched music, it's always charted.
Yeah.
How did the music come to play?
So I would sing in my lives. I would sing to my mom to go get me the sponge, the huevo, Mohamed huevo. And people would be like, you kind of sing good. I'm like,
yeah.
You're
like, kinda. You're like, I'm an Oprah major.
Before doing social media. Since I was 4, I've always loved to sing, but I never thought anything would come from it.
Yeah.
And then people were like, oh, do music, come out with music. And then I met my friend La Costosa, who had just released a single. And I was like, I love it.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, I'll give you my producer. So I met my producer, El Fara, who's in Puerto Rico. And I was like, I'm going to do it. So I traveled to Puerto Rico. I recorded a song. I did the music video, everything out of pocket.
What's your first song again? Which one?
Far From Home.
Far From Home,
Far From Home. Because I feel like it kind of talked a lot about my story, being from Puerto Rico in California, which is literally like the farthest.
Is that the song you got kicked out of the hotel for?
Yes.
Almost got sued for? Yeah. That's a crazy one. So you started music and it just blew up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that song got to, I think that one went up to number 3. But it was like the first song like ever. And it was in one day. And I was like, what the heck? Like, can I do this?
Yeah.
Can I do this? Like, will people really like the music? And so far they have. I mean, I feel like I'm not where I want to be in music yet, but I'm also always scared to promote it, if that makes sense. It's all the insecurities. I'm literally so insecure.
And it's so crazy because I feel like I look up to you a lot. And I feel like, I'm not even saying this, y'all. Like, if you're someone I've talked to about Candy Lover 2, you'll know that I'm always like preaching how much of a hard worker you are, because just in the short time, you guys, we've talked about a music career, a fucking, going live, a TikTok. Like, you do so much. And that's where I say, like, how does she do it? Yet, like, you still end up, like, thinking that you're not enough. Like, I think I see Candy now like a star.
But we've sat. We've sat in my car and we've literally sat and we've talked and we've had this conversation multiple times where I'm like, I just don't feel like I fit in. I don't feel like people like me. I'm awkward. I'm not that
But I feel like that's what
outgoing.
makes you different. And we've had combos, like, if we want, we're gonna get deep, y'all. We've had combos that, like, I see her as a star, but there's times, and I've seen it, even like your influencers that might have ni un millón de seguidores, amigos, la tratan como si, like, como si nada, como X. And it's crazy because we've talked about that before, and you've expressed to me how that makes you feel, and you can see it. You know what I mean? Like, there's been occasions where we've been together and they're like, me tratan a mí como si yo soy más que ella. And I'm like, no, nadie es más que nadie. But it's crazy because they see Candy. And this is what I told her. And I was like, you know what? Like, you're so flamboyant. You're so, like, bubbly online. And that's how she is in person, that I feel like es lo mismo conmigo. Mucha gente, because, oh, pinche pendeja, no me toman en serio. And it's like, I think I've changed it up to where I'm like, yes, I'm this person online, but you're not going to treat me like I'm a fool in person. You're not going to treat me like I'm a walking clown. Like, you're going to respect me. And I feel like you've had, instances where you don't feel respected. Why is that?
That's something I still wonder, because it happens to me all the time. And especially being in this industry where I'm around so many people that are huge.
Yeah.
I'm not asking to be treated better than anybody.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to be respected and treated equally. Like,
yes.
It's kind of like if you're in school and you're seeing a teacher is treating a certain kid different than another kid, it's like, why?
Yeah.
What's the difference?
What's crazy, you guys, is that I've lived this firsthand with her. We've been to events, to stuff where it's so obvious, like, they'll see us together, and I'm not even here throwing numbers, but technically speaking, to a brand, you're more beneficial. Like, if we're really getting technical. No, you really are, though. Come on, like, your stats. But it's crazy because there's been instances where we'll be together and they'll treat me like better than her, and I'm like, does this happen to you? She's like, all the time. And we've had convos where I'm like, that's fucked up. Like, why do people, brands, and people in general do that? You know what I mean?
And even just like the looks. And I think it's mainly appearances. Mm-hmm. Because and we've had this conversation too, where I used to not care about like whether I was wearing makeup or whether I have designer stuff. Now I feel like I've had to do it, because if not, I do get treated a lot differently. Yeah. Especially, like, I would go to events and I would drive my Kia Soul, and I'm just like, yeah, my little pink car. And everybody knows I love my little pink Kia. Like, it got me through everything. And I'll get to an event and I get those looks like, ew. Yeah. Like, they look at me like I'm like, it's just a car. It's getting me to where I need to go. And
it's so crazy, you guys, when I think about that, because that was actually a combo. I remember this fucking combo. It was my birthday week.
When I got there 2 days early.
When she got here 2 days early, I went to her car and we were chatting for like hours, bitch. Like, hours. And I remember me and her talking, and it's so crazy because when that happens, when people see her pulling up in her Kia Soul, they're probably like, no la toman en serio, which is so fucked up. But lo que la gente no sabe, she has a whole empire. She has a whole warehouse, a home. You bought it, and her house is amazing. Ya quisiera uno. Pero lo que yo le dije a ella es que tú no te importa aparecer lo que no eres, porque tú sabes quién eres. And that's what makes her different. But I remember when we were having this convo, I was like, social media is so fucked up, where la gente te va a tratar how you show up. It's so fucked up. And we've had combos like this where I'm like, I can show up in the Jeep and she can show up in the Kia Soul, even though she has her own home. If we're really technically speaking, like, she's more successful, people will like, oh no, she's not, and treat her as what she's writing, when in reality she can buy herself a fucking G-Wagon, but you don't. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's so fucked up, and I feel like it's such a great topic to talk about, because I feel like it goes to anyone, to influencers, to brands. Stop treating people different. If you're gonna treat everyone the same, treat everyone the same.
Yeah, like we've been to a lot. I've been to a lot of brand events. Launches, just parties, all this stuff, and I'm around a lot of influencers.
Yes.
And I've seen where influencers are rude even to people that are working the events. I've stayed at the, okay, I'm gonna, sorry, Selena Gomez, this is good.
Are you like, I hope?
Like, this is a good thing, this is a good thing. But for example, at the Rare Beauty event, I stayed till the end, and some of the waitresses knew who I was, and I literally stayed chatting with them probably for another like extra hour. Because I don't care. Like, I treat everybody equally. Like, at the end of the day, we're all people.
Yes.
We all do the same stuff. We all have our things, and it's okay. Like, I'll talk to anybody. I'm kind to everybody. I don't care what you drive. I don't care what you look like. If you're a kind person, I'm going to be a kind person back. That's just how it is.
Pero lo que yo le he dicho mucho a ella, like, lo que te separa a ti is that she's genuinely humble. Like, she's genuinely a good person, and I've always told her, you're so good at people that's why they take advantage. Because también la gente, it's not just about treating her differently, it's about taking advantage. But you know what? I will say something. Going back to Facebook and your lives, I've seen a growth in you. I've seen it in your lives. And antes, si algo te molestaba, te quedabas callada. Si alguien te atacaba, callada. And whenever you've spoken up about real things that matter to you, like when people are making fun of your weight, when people are not respecting you, when you've had, when you went to Mexico and people were almost suffocating you, and just a lot of instances where you've spoken up, that's already giving a change. Because now you're like, you know what? I'm nice, but I'm also going to be respected.
Right. And I also want to share those experiences because you just never know where you could be in that situation. Yeah. So recently in Miami, I had another pretty bad experience happen in the hotel, and I spoke about it, and people are like, "You're just always drama. You're so dramatic." I'm like, it's also a thing called, and I did take psychology because I did take a semester in college. And it's called selective hearing. It's kind of like, oh, you always read the negative comments, but I'll be reading all these positive ones, and they're it kind of slides. And I'm like, no, it's not like that. And it's the same for these experiences. Now that I'm traveling more things are going to happen. Yeah. And I can't avoid it. I mean, if I stay at home, I stay at home. But I'm trying to get out there. I'm really trying to grow more as not just a makeup influencer, but I'm trying to share my personal life, trying to share my music, everything that I'm doing at the time. Yeah. I've been changing a lot of my content as well.
And that's amazing. It's great seeing that growth. It's great seeing the wow. Because yo la conozco, you guys, no estoy hablando de años, but I'm talking about at least 4 years. And I've seen the growth in you, not just as a creator, but as a person. Right. And it's so refreshing to see it because it's kind of like seeing you blossom into even greater things. Because I already thought she was great. I'm like, girl, to be honest, you guys, even though I'm sure she does, she has her bad days. But yo me la miro a Candy, I was like, ni a una mosca la mata. She just does no harm. But obviously we're all human and she can have her slip-ups. But what I'm trying to say is that you're just such a great person and such a great human being. Y por eso se le ha dado lo que se le ha dado. Okay, you guys, so ya después de tanto chisme, we're approaching the end. But instead of having the Wheel of Pendejadas, we're going to do something different. So como le estamos diciendo, Candy es una cantante y nos va a cantar algo.
This one is probably the song that everybody knows the most, La
Jefa.
Jefa.
Ajá.
Yo hago lo que quiera, siempre he visto a mi manera, ningún hombre me viene a domar. Viajo a donde sea, par de mil en la cartera, de mí nadie se va a adueñar. So that one's a little part. And then my most recent release, which is La Ruta, I'll sing a little bit of that one too. That one goes, nada se compara con lo que tenemos. Te llevo a la nube cuando nos vemos. No me pudiste borrar, no te quisiste involucrar, pero nunca olvidaste lo que te hacía sentir, porque tengo lo que te gusta.
You guys, si quieren escuchar toda su música on Apple Music, YouTube, donde sea que la pueden encontrar, bajo Candylover.
Candylover.
Antes de que nos vayamos, I'm going to go ahead and turn it to Candy para que nos diga what's next for Candylover89.
So there's more music coming. There might be some merch coming, some poquitis, some toma pa' que goces. I don't. Like I said, I'm just going with it and just trying my best. New products, new music, whatever comes. It all depends on your support. American Influencer Awards are coming, so that's something that we're really excited about.
Vote every single day, amigas.
Yes,
Cada día voten con el email de su novio, de su mamá, de su perro, de su cucaracha, de lo que quieran votar, pero voten. Llegamos al final de este video. Muchas gracias for being with us today. I'm going to go ahead and leave our social medias down below on the screen y también las mías para que no se pierdan any future episode.
So I say this in all my Facebook lives before I end because you never know who needs to hear the message. So remember, there's only one of you in this entire world. You are special, you are unique, and you can do anything. Normally I hug the camera, but the camera's kind of far, but my little air hug.
And we'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye, guys.
Jungle. Audio Jungle.